and welcome to this edition of Morning at NTV. My name is Raymond Tamale, and we're coming to you live from Chiwatule at the home of Zaire Kaguta, the brother of President Museveni. But not speaking about family, we're speaking about politics this morning. And we have a privilege to speak to you this morning, basically about the political climate in the country. Let us start off from, we understand you're the PLU coordinator for Ankole and the NRM coordinator for coordinator in Western Uganda. I want to understand from you, how is the political temperature where you're coming from in regards to NRM winning the 2026 elections? How are people receiving you?
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, NTV. I'm called Zaire Kaguta. I'm happy to interact with you, Mr. Tamare, and the entire crew. As you said, I was put on the task force to join colleagues in the Ankole sub-region to mobilize communities and look for NRM support and for our president and flag bearers. Also, I was appointed as the PLU coordinator for Western region, all the way from Chiliandongo up to Soro. But my role is simple. We already have coordinators on the ground. It's just to reinforce them. And this time around, we said we should use the existing infrastructure or structures. If you have been following our presidential campaign trail in northern Uganda, the ground is promising. The people are happy because they want to protect their gains. And the gains are there, are visible. You can see them. I think you have been following. President has been working at the same time, I think, campaigning. But every day, he covers 2 districts. He does like 4 rallies. But in those 4 rallies, I can tell you, you have been seeing what happens.
We've seen the president making a number of promises on the rallies, maybe talking about infrastructure, roads and all that. And sometimes maybe he makes the pledges and maybe they're not implemented. Then he comes back and talks about the same pledges. How best are we going to have the president honor his pledges this time around in 2026, 2031?
Usually, when you're in, we have manifesto. We have been implementing our manifesto for the last term, and now it was last month's assessment, it was around 85 to 90, and you remember this term is not yet over; it's ending next year. So I think by the time next year reaches, then our manifesto for the last term will be finished. Now we start on this manifesto, and we are the only party that have manifesto. But other parties, I don't know if they have manifesto. You can see others, they read in the hand and say, no,
they have manifestos. They have manifestos actually, but the issue is here basically is about the NRM has had a number of manifestos talking about infrastructure. Of course, they have done some, but some are still lacking. For example, medicines, a hospital, infrastructure, are talking about good schools. As a person who sits in the NRM, that decision party, what do you think needs to be done in 2026, 2031, moving forward?
In fact, my brother, Mr. Tamai, I want to correct you. I don't sit in, and now I'm no longer sitting in any caucus or NRM. Because I'm a former chairman for NRM. I attempted to be vice chairman for Western Uganda, and I was not pushed out. I was convinced because we have structures. SX sat and called me and explained. They said, of course, there was politics of blackmail and arm twisting and politics of identity versus interest. And of course, the national chairman has to guide us. He guided us in SEC, and I came to know that the party is bigger than an individual. So I had to withdraw my candidature for the rest of the candidates to continue. So I'm not officially in any structure, but I'm a supporter. And I have been telling people that a supporter or a cadre, you don't need positions. You need to get ideological clarity, and you follow your conviction. So that's why I'm still now. NRM identified me because of my discipline and said, now you go and head you go and with your bosses, other bosses, you coordinate the Ankole sub-region. But at the same time, Pierre also identified me, said you go and join the rest Pierre coordinators in Western region. So our manifesto now, we have been having a series of manifesto, and we have been implementing all of them. And this, I've told you, this term manifesto had reached 85 by the time I was following up. But now I know by the end of this term, our manifesto will be free. So the pledges that the president is making now, or the national chairman is making, is for the new term. And protecting the gains, they want to know which gains are they protecting. Because myself here, you came, you reached here at 8, it was raining. I came late from the field. I was in Chankwanzi, teaching political education and ideology, fighting arrogance, impunity, and corruption. I drove all the way from Chankwanzi. I reached here at around 3 in the morning. I slept. So that means I'm protecting the gain of peace. And I drove. The infrastructure was good. Okay, somehow between Chibok and Sunju, they are still repairing. So that's a gain. My kids have gone to school. They are not here. They have gone to school. That's a gain. The services you talk about in here, that there is no medicine and I don't believe in rumors. I know medicine cannot be enough for the citizens, but I know there are medicine health centers and in Rufaro. For example, I went to check on a friend in Murago. That was last week. I didn't know that they have such a machines in the hospital, state-of-the-art machines, because he had the heart problem. I went to Heart Institute. I found machines, I found doctors, professors. So we cannot say everything is all right, but we are still going ahead. That's why the president doesn't strip himself. He even doesn't send. He goes on the ground. See, if they talk about Kwania, Abim now is in Karamoja. If the cow and the chairman LC5 and the chairman NRM have been lying him, he goes there physically to see if there are bad roads, he passes through there. If there are bridges that cannot connect a district to another, he gets stuck also there.
Let me ask you a question. Currently, Uganda, unlike Tanzania is going through voting right now. But the question in Tanzania is the youth, the Gen Zs. And you can see also in Uganda, the biggest percentage of Ugandans are youth. How is the NRM going to address this issue? Because you see in Tanzania, people are striking because they're saying the government in charge is not really considering the issues of the youth, unemployment, and all that. Education. As Uganda, what are we learning from Tanzania that you think we can really implement here not to avoid such a thing to happen?
Of course, as any government in power should plan for the population, not only the youth, even the elderly, even the veterans, those who fought, so the youth being the biggest number, the government has put many interventions. One, first of all, even in SEC, in the NRM SEC, there is youth representation so that they can plan for the population. Then there are many in the Ministry of Labor, Gender and Social Development. There is youth, Honorable Baram Bargara, and others. There is a full-fledged ministry to cater for youth interest. Then, in our NRM structures, from all the way from LC1 up to the district, there is a youth representation. They have each district has the mainstream has five people up to LC1. There is skilling, presidential skilling hubs. They are targeting youth. There is even the president now said after this term, if we put back NRM in power, they will be giving money for those people, graduates who have finished university, and you take 2 years without getting any job. So there is intervention for the youth. And we know youth is a force, and a force that is supposed not to be neglected. In every country, in every city, in every district, there are youth programs. And women, of course, we cannot forget women, we cannot forget veteran, elderly. So everyone should be considered, not only youth, but the emphasis now is on youth.
Zaire, I have one question, and I can't miss asking you this. I don't know if you understand that the Nation Media Group has been blacked out from government agencies, and currently we are not being allowed to cover Parliament. As a person who is so attached to the youth, what do you make of this, and what's your stand?
Hey, that's bad. I didn't know until you told me this morning, in fact. And even now you are telling me. I think we are tired of wars. What I believe in Operation Harmony. I believe in ceasefire. I believe in dialogue. So I think your management we can link up with your management. We see how we can talk to government. If there is any mistake, it can be easily ironed out, but not stopping you completely from covering. But also, you should also be honest and know your mistake if it is there. But what I can say, I'm your bridge, I'm your contact. I don't want any pay. You tell me where you want me to knock the doors.
But do you believe
I can move with you?
But do you believe that we do a good job as NTV and Nation Media Group?
Of course. NTV is my favorite station whenever I am, and the NBS and UBC. So why not? That is my.
Okay. We shall not go further than that. That was Zaire Kaguta speaking about the current situation of the political climate in the country. Back to you, Chris Higenyi in studio. Raymond Tamale here in Chiwatule.